Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I am here doing a Hamilton tier list. These are all of the characters that are really the main characters. So we've got Mr. Aaron Burr down here, Mr. Alexander Hamilton, the Schuyler sister Angelica, Schuyler sister Eliza, Washington Mulligan, or Hercules Mulligan, that's George Washington. I got something. James Madison, that is John Lawrence, the King George, Lafayette, Mariah Reynolds, Schuyler's sister Peggy, Alexander's son, which Philip, and then Thomas Jefferson. So I will see you guys when I start these. Okay, now I've done it, so let's explain why I put these characters here. So, as you guys can obviously tell, there's no D tier, because I don't think any of these characters deserve to be in the D tier. But I am going to start with the C tier. Now, out of all these characters, I feel like, sadly, Hercules Mulligan doesn't really contribute anything to the play character-wise. He just kind of is there to beatbox and kind of just sing about sex. And then we've got James Madison? Yes. John Adams. I don't know. I forgot, which is sad because I literally listen to this at least once a night. But he just kind of, again, he's just kind of like second hand to Thomas Jefferson, who is obviously higher on the list. And then we've got this girl, Mariah Reynolds. So, for those of you who don't know the story of Alexander Hamilton, he has an affair with a girl named Mariah Reynolds, whose wife knew about the affair, and they kind of planned it. So, basically, he gives money. So, Hamilton has to give money to her husband, or else he will tell the whole world that he had an affair with Mariah Reynolds. So, she's not my favorite character, considering she kind of messed with Hamilton's life, but also Hamilton is also at fault. So then we move on to the B tier. We have John Lawrence. Reason I put him here is because he just doesn't seem like that much of a... In the story, he's one of the people that I enjoy the most, but he's also one of the people that I really just don't understand his role, because for most part, he's just kind of there talking about freedom, which I am all about, and yes, I really enjoy that message, but other than that, he really doesn't contribute anything else. Then we got poor Peggy Schuyler. She's the overlooked one in the Schuyler sisters family. In fact, I will put in the Schuyler sisters song clip.
Angelica, Peggy, Eliza.
Yeah, you can see that. So, yeah, she's just kind of there, but I do like her more than Lawrence because she does have a little bit more personality. She's kind of, like, scared to be going out and stuff like that. So let's just move on to A tier. In A tier, we have Lafayette, the French soldier that Hamilton befriends. He gives it more of a he kind of contributes more to the story than Lawrence and Mulligan. He basically helped them out and kind of got Hamilton back into the war, because Washington kind of sent him home because Eliza, his wife, wrote that he was having a baby. Or that she was having a baby, and it was Hamilton, so that he wanted to send Hamilton home so that he could know the news without having it from writing. So Lafayette was basically like, well, if we want to win this war, we might want Hamilton back. And Washington was like, you might be right. So that's kind of why I put him here, because he got Hamilton back into the war. And then we've got Lafayette's, the actor who plays Lafayette's other role, Thomas Jefferson. Now, my mom doesn't like Thomas Jefferson in the play. In fact, she despises him. But Thomas Jefferson is definitely one of those people who kind of looks like the villain. He definitely tries to definitely tries to stop Hamilton's plans of becoming a president and kind of messing with his legacy. So that's why he's kind of like the villain role of this, but he's also a really charismatic and funny dude. Just listen to Cabinet Battle 1 and Cabinet Battle 2. It's just, like, super funny. And then we're moving on to Philip, Alexander's son. I feel like Alexander's son deserves to be here because at the end of the play, and spoilers if you don't want to listen to me spoiling this, skip this part. Philip dies towards the end of the show doing a duel, and this really hits Alexander in a very hard place and kind of sends him and his wife and his other family into depression, especially Alexander. In fact, there's a whole song about it. It's called "It's Quiet Uptown." And it really just like hits Alexander emotionally to the where he's not in politics or anything for like a year until the election of 1800. That's when he finally comes back to the public. And it kind of just like, it's a very emotional point in the show. And then we go on to his mother, Eliza. Now, I put Eliza in A tier because she's not my favorite Skylar sister. She just kind of has not as much personality as her other sister. I mean, even Peggy has more of a personality than Eliza does. But she does have some good songs in Helpless, and That Would Be Enough, which is when she tells Alexander about the baby. So I put her here because she has good songs. Otherwise, I would have probably put her in B tier with her other sister and Lauren's. Now we move to S tier, which we start with the King. King George is is one of my favorite characters, and if I ever got to play in Hamilton, that is who I would want to audition for. King George has some of the best songs in the entire musical. He has You'll Be Back, What Comes Next, and I Know Him. He also has one of the best lines in the play, which I will. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. See how good that is? It's just like, I love this character, and the character's played so well by anybody who does it. Of course, it started off with Jonathan Groff, who, if you don't know, I'll put a picture here. He is Kristoff from Frozen. He voices him, and he also is the king, so I'm like, bruh, that's amazing. And then we move on to my boy, George Washington. He's not my boy. But George Washington, he has some of the best songs in the entire play. Everybody in the S tier has some of the best lines/songs in the entire play. So he has One Last Time, which is one of my favorite songs in like the entire play. When I do a ranking of the songs, that will definitely be in my top 10, or not top 10, top 3. And then he has Right Hand Man, which is one of my mom's favorite songs. And it's just kind of like Washington really plays a big role in this. He's one of the main characters, so I really enjoy Washington. Also, Christopher Jackson as the original Washington is amazing. Then we move on to the better Skylar sister. That's right, I said it. Angelica. Angelica is the better Skylar sister because I feel like she just has the most personality out of all the Skylar sisters. She's kind of like, I don't need no man, strong, independent woman. And she's just got like the most personality, but she falls for Hamilton, but just can't be with him because she's the older sister and she has to marry she has to kind of like lead the forefront of the Skylar legacy. That's what her father wants her to do anyways, so she has to marry a rich man, but she comes back every once in a while and like calls Hamilton stupid after his affair and really messes with him, and then but she's apparently she's buried near him too. And like they had a really good friendship and almost relationship at some points, so that's why I put her in my top 3, considering I just love the character of Angelica. She's super cool. Now let's move on to the top 2. In number 2, we have Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr is the main bad guy of the characters, and also Alexander's friend. Aaron Burr is a very good character because it's like he's a bad guy, but he's also not the bad guy in the same way. He just really wanted to be like president, and then Hamilton was like, hey,
Jefferson has beliefs, Burr has none.
Yeah, so he kind of got really angry at Hamilton and was like, I challenge you to a duel. And Hamilton was like, sure. And then they dueled, and Hamilton shot his pistol in the air, which is, back then when you dueled, that was the way to kind of signal it's peace in a way. So he shot his pistol in the air. Burr thought that he would try to kill him, so he shot him in between the ribs and basically kills Hamilton. So that's why people see him as a villain, but he also has some of the best songs in the entire play. Dear Theodosia, which is shared by Hamilton. Wait for It. Let's see here. Non-Stop, which is also shared by Hamilton and others. And he's basically kind of the narrator of the entire thing. And I really like this character. I feel like a lot of people don't like him because he killed Hamilton, but I feel like that just kind of adds to his whole thing, because he feels remorse after doing it. Like, the world was wide enough. At the end, he legitimately says this.
I should have known the world was wide enough for both Hamilton and me. The world was wide enough for both Hamilton and me.
See, it's just kind of like he feels remorse after it, but yeah, that's why I think I put him in the number 2 spot. And at number 1, it's our boy Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton is my favorite character in the entire play because he just has such a good story and has amazing songs. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, who made the show, writ the songs so good. And it's just like Hamilton, he made the Hamilton character kind of like, he made him just not the dude on the $10 bill. He made him, he gave the depth to the character. He made him emotional in songs like That Would Be Enough. It's Quiet Uptown. And when his son dies in Stay Alive, Reap the Story of Tonight, both of the songs, which are my favorite songs in the entire musical. And they really took Hamilton and took him off. It's basically, Hamilton in the play is basically just, it shows that even like founding fathers can even today still be talked about. Like, everybody talks about George Washington, kind of, and like all these other dudes, but nobody ever talked about Alexander Hamilton. He was just the guy on the $10 bill, but Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of saved and brought back the speaking of Alexander Hamilton, because nobody talked about him. If you asked them who Alexander Hamilton was, they'd probably think he was a president or something like that, but no, he was never a president. He was just Treasury Secretary of State, Treasury man, Treasury Secretary. He was just like a dude who made the banks and really should be talked about because he's done so much. He did so much for our country. So yeah, I'm really talking about this because, again, the Disney Plus thing, July 3rd, is coming out on July 3rd, Hamilton. So I really just wanted to do this thing because, yeah. Also, I probably talked about it at the beginning of the video in the intro, but we are moving soon, so I need to do as much videos as I can for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notification bell so that you stay notified when I upload my next video. It's probably going to be another Hamilton one because I really enjoy this fandom. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you. Bye!